Hey, good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Worcester City Council held in council chambers for the second time since the COVID moratorium has been lifted. Part of the meeting will be on YouTube as well as in chambers tonight. It's now after 7:30 this first day of summer, June 21st, 2021. And because of a change in the Wooster charter, which was voted in by the citizens of the city of Worcester, the summer hiatus has been extended to run all of July and all of August unless a special meeting is called for. So this will be the last meeting, regular meeting for a while. And the next one will be the day after Labor Day on September 7th, which is a Tuesday. So anyways, that being said, I will ask Mr. Paulo to please call the roll.
Mr. Ansel?
Here.
Mr. Bostancic?
Here.
Mr. Cavan?
Here.
Mr. Myers?
Here.
Mr. Sanders?
Here.
Mr. Silvestri?
Here.
And Ms. Warden? Here.
Everyone's here. We have a quorum, and the agenda will remain as presented. At this time, I would ask you to stand and join with City Council in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of June 7th, 2021. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Mr. Myers. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Silvestri. All in favor, please say aye on approval.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say nay. The minutes of June 7th, 2021 are approved. Mayor, welcome, and I like the new format, so appreciate it. I know Mr. Montgomery's handprints are all over it, so thank you, Mr. Montgomery.
Thank you, President Buitendijk and council members. Nice to see everyone this evening, and nice to have everybody back in person again for the second time. So, we had quite a few things happen in the couple weeks that we've been separated from each other. Probably one of the most noteworthy ones for us is the Wayne Economic Development Council board approved the presidential nomination of the search committee that was looking for a new president for that organization. And they hired Mary Beth Burns, a retired executive from Smuckers Corporation in Orville. Mary Beth brings over 30 years' experience in leadership roles in company communications and government and community relations. Ms. Burns started in the president's role effective June 10th, the day that we actually confirmed as a board her appointment. And we want to thank John Crum for serving as the interim president between Tom Pukas and Mary Beth. And we wish Mary Beth the best in her new role. I think she'll do a nice job for the whole organization. Our administrative team got the opportunity to meet with Gabe Tudor, the new superintendent for the Worcester City School System. Personally, I was, first time I'd gotten a chance to meet him, but I was impressed with the gentleman, and I think he'll be a good fit for our Worcester City Schools. So we look forward to working along with him and the school board and that role that that extremely important role that they play for our community. Gabe has a wife and 4 children, and they've already found a house in our area and should be moving in within the month, according to what he told us. So very lucky that he found something available and that fit their needs. We look forward to working with him and the board to keep our schools strong and healthy because they are an extremely important component for our city and just day-to-day life and educating our kids and also in the economic development piece that they play for our community. Going along with the school board, we have a CRA application that is going before the school board tomorrow tomorrow evening at their meeting, which our administration is supporting. It's Liberty Bell Limited and Mariola Italian LCC is proposing a redevelopment project in the East Liberty area beside Muddy's. A new 7,500 square foot restaurant and 8 top floor apartments are being planned for that area. And this is a new growth situation in our East Liberty Entertainment District, and it will help buoy that piece of the city that we've been trying to get new growth and buildings in. So we're hopeful that the school board will take that under strong consideration and will be favorable in their remarks about the CRA application. The City Rec Division, along with Wayne Trails, sponsored a run, walk, and roll scavenger hunt on Saturday. It was a really neat operation. It went from 10 to 12 Saturday morning. It used our multi-purpose trail system with 12 stops at parks and public facilities. Our PD K-9 and a baby cow from OARDC were 2 of the stops that kids and families could stop and visit with. And it was a fun event showcased by our city. I got to be one of the stops, and I got to question people about the city of Wooster information. So my biggest one was, when was our city founded? And many people could not tell me that, even though we just had our bicentennial about 13 years ago. So I even wore it on my coat that had established 1808, but some of them picked up on that. So we had about 76 people total, so not huge, but if you think about a Saturday in the summertime, there are lots of draws for people's attention. So I felt pretty good for a turnout on that. And it really showcased what we've been doing in our city with our parks and our trails, so good stuff. I've been informed that Grigio Wine Shop, which is just south of the St. Paul Hotel, opens tomorrow in our city. They're going to be open on Tuesday to Friday, 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., and Saturdays from 11 to 11. We welcome this new wine shop on the south side of the square, and it really will hopefully complement what was there when the winery was in that building a number of years ago. This is our last council meeting scheduled until Tuesday, September the 7th. I do want to just drop a hint that there may be a need for a special council meeting with the only thing on the agenda would be any action that the school board may take tomorrow night, allowing the CRA to move forward. So we'll just have to keep you informed on that. If they do give an affirmative, we would probably be back within the next week or so that the 2 applicants on the CRA application could move forward with their building plans, at least get the foundation and stuff established in good weather here. So that's everything I have at this point for you, council members and President Beitendijk. I'll turn it back over to you.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We do have one petition. It's the South End. Bob Evans has applied for a liquor license. If you would please read that, Mr. Paulo.
From the Ohio Division of Liquor Control, a request from Bob Evans Restaurants LLC, doing business as Bob Evans Restaurant, 119 550 Robinson Road, Wooster, Ohio, 44691, a permit class D2.
All right, just a reminder, and I know you've heard it many times before, we can request a hearing in the county seat, which is Wooster, hearing down in Columbus on the petition, or we can waive having a hearing. What's your pleasure?
Motion to waive hearing, Mr. President.
Motion to waive hearing by Mr. Ansel. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Warden. Would you please call the roll on waiving the hearing on this petition?
Mr. Ansel?
Yes.
Mr. Bostancic?
Yes.
Mr. Cavan?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Mr. Sanders?
Yes.
Mr. Silvestri?
Yes.
And Ms. Warden? Yes.
And as you've done many times before, if you would please, Mr. Paulo, send the Department of Liquor Control the notice that we're waiving the hearing. No one has signed up to speak on the agenda item. So I don't think we have any committee reports. We haven't had a committee meeting, and there are no public hearings tonight. So we are going to roll into the third reading and hopefully the passage of the final budget that Mr. Ansel has overseen as the chairperson of the Budget Committee. Before I get to you, Mr. Ansel, I will ask Mr. Paulo to read the title, which is probably one of the shortest titles we have all year.
Resolution number 2021-26, a resolution providing for the annual tax budget for fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2022.
Yes.
Mr. Finance Chairman,
Thank you,
would
Mr.
you
President.
take it away for the last time?
As required by the Ohio Revised Code, we are required to adopt an annual tax budget projection for the upcoming year. And pursuant with this mandate, we will file that with the Wayne County Auditor. You saw the exhibit doing or highlighting the projected tax levels for the upcoming fiscal year. So it's just part of the process. And since this is the third reading, I'll motion to adopt, Mr. President.
Okay, motion to adopt by Mr. Ansel. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Myers. Any discussion or questions? Well, I see Mr. Doherty is here for the last and final reading.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Sarah Lynn Leish filled in most adequately in your absence last time.
She didn't say anything.
Well, somebody apparently lobbed her a softball question, I hear.
That's true. We did get
I
one.
heard that.
Yeah.
Seeing nothing further, would you please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Ansel?
Yes.
Cavan?
Yes.
Warden? Yes. Myers?
Yes.
Sanders?
Yes.
Silvestri?
Yes.
And Bastancik?
Yes.
Resolution number 2021-26 passes. New business, first item, resolution number 2021-34. It'll be presented by Mr. Bastancik. If I read the resolution properly, it is a budgeted item, so would not require suspension of the rules to be passed, but it does require me to turn to Mr. Paulo and ask her to please read it.
Resolution number 2021-34, a resolution authorizing the Director of Administration to enter into an agreement with the Ohio Department of Transportation for the major rehabilitation of the Dix Expressway and providing for immediate enactment.
Mr. Bastancik, the floor is yours, sir.
Okay, thank you. On January 4th, 2021, Worcester City Council passed Resolution 2021-01, which authorized the City of Worcester to enter into a cooperative agreement with the Ohio Department of Transportation concerning the major rehabilitation of the Dix Expressway, which is set to begin in early 2022. This resolution, 2021-34, will authorize the Director of Administration to enter into a final agreement with ODOT for this project. The total estimated cost to the city for our share of the project is $307,110. This is out of a total cost that's estimated for the project of $35 million for the entire rehabilitation of the Dix Expressway. I think we can all agree this is a pretty good bargain for the city of Worcester. It's less than 1% of the total cost. I don't know if Roger needs to add anything on that, or?
No, it's just it's time to pay up. They're going to let the project in August, and it's a design build, and they'll start construction in '22. It'll be 2 years. So,
2 years to completion.
2 years, yeah.
And we're doing away, we're not going to do concrete anymore, we're doing asphalt
It's
this
gonna ask-
time.
Yes.
Okay.
No other questions, I move to adopt.
Motion to adopt by Mr.
Mr.
Bastancik,
Silvestri had his arm.
It's okay.
You okay?
and we'll have discussion yet, too.
I move to adopt.
So, Was that a second?
That's a second, yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is that a second? Oh, sure.
Mr. Bostancic moved to adopt, seconded by Mr. Silvestri. Is there any further discussions or questions? Seems pretty straightforward, and we had some preliminary legislation regarding this. Seeing none, would you please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Cavan,
Yes.
Warden,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Sanders,
Yes.
Silvestri,
Yes.
Bostancic,
Yes.
and Ansel.
Yes.
Resolution number 2021-34 passes. Let's look at resolution number 2021-35. It's a resolution that will be presented by Mr. Cavan. It is slated for 3 readings. Before I get to you, Mr. Cavan, if you would, Mr. Paulo, please read the title. This is one of the longer titles.
Yes, it is. Resolution number 2021-35, a resolution authorizing the Director of Administration to enter into a cooperative agreement with the Wayne County Commissioners to appoint the county dog warden and deputy county dog wardens as animal control officers for the city of Worcester for the purpose of investigating, pursuing, enforcing, or otherwise managing offenses under Ohio Revised Code Section 959.
Mr. Cavan, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just as Mr. Paulo read, it would be an agreement with the city of Worcester to enter into agreement with the Wayne County Commissioners for dog control and a few other things too, things that we're kind of limited on now. We don't have the police force to necessarily address all the issues that we're seeing. They seem to be somewhat the better avenue to take with that. They're more of the expert in that area. Although there is some things, I did speak with Mr. Scavelli earlier today. There is some things that we did want to make clear and have in writing in an agreement before we do go further. And I would maybe turn to Mr. Scavelli if he would be so kind as to enlighten us on what some of the changes would be.
Thank you, Mr. Cavan. Yes, so we were approached by the county with this idea, and basically it is to allow the county dog warden to work within Worcester to enforce Ohio Revised Code Section 959, which includes such offenses as animal cruelty, neglect, poisoning an animal, things of that nature. This is a very good thing because they are well-equipped to handle those types of situations. Currently, it would have to be handled by the police department, who can also handle them very, very well, but the dog wardens are experts in handling animals. So that's a very good option. It's not going to cost us any money. Two of the issues that we had, and if Chief Fisher wants to jump into this at any point, on how this would work between the dog warden and the police, but two of the issues that we had really were if they were going to be armed, we wanted to make sure that they had gone through a PATA training, which is the police officer training that all of our officers go through. And also, if they're going to be doing things within the city, they need to let us know what they're doing. If they're like investigating, issuing, or executing search warrants, things like that, they need to give us the heads up. Once they agreed with that and the fact that they were willing to do it just as part of their regular duties, this was a really excellent deal for the city. I don't know, does Chief Fisher have anything to add to that?
Unless anybody has any questions, John, I think you covered it.
Great program.
We're still going to handle the dogs running at large, those basics. These are the more serious cruelty to animals, poisoning the animals, things of that nature.
Unless you have any other questions, I think this is an excellent offer from the county.
I have a quick question, if I could ask. How will the fees be broken down? Is it on a case-by-case basis, or are we paying a flat rate for the county to handle these cases?
We're not paying anything.
Nothing, okay.
Nope.
Well, we are
That's a
for
great
the
deal.
various other taxes, but.
Well, yes, correct. But this contract isn't costing us actual money.
It's not on top of, okay, thank you.
The costs for dog wardens are included in the fees that people pay to
The
license
license.
their dogs, so it really covers the cost of the dog warden statewide.
But the main gist was that we do have some things that we wanted in the agreement to maybe lighten the burden or give a little more control to the city under this agreement, so, and again, it's been pointed out, no money involved, so it does sound like a win-win, especially for the dogs, so. I would make a motion to suspend the rules of council.
I just have a quick question.
Yes.
To affect these changes, would those have to be in the agreement where we have to add on to this agreement?
So I believe they are in the agreement. I don't know if you've seen the agreement itself. They're not in the legislation, but they're in the agreement.
With the, as far as the training for firearms?
Correct.
We work with the assistant law director who put that in the
Okay.
agreement.
Thank you.
So I heard you say you would like to suspend the rules there, Mr.
That
Cavan?
is correct. Move this to third and final.
All right, a motion by Mr. Cavan to suspend the rules. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Silvestri. Mr. Paulo, would you please call the roll on the motion to suspend the rules?
Bastancik?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Sanders?
Yes.
Silvestri?
Yes.
Warden?
Yes.
Ansel?
Yes.
And Cavan.
Yes,
And the rules have been suspended. I turn to you again, Mr. Cavan.
thank you. I would make a motion to adopt Resolution 2021-35.
Motion by Mr. Cavan to adopt. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Ansel. Any further questions, discussions? Seeing none, would you please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Bastancik?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Sanders?
Yes.
Silvestri?
Yes.
Warden?
Yes.
Ansel?
Yes.
And Cavan.
Yes.
Okay, resolution number 2021-35 passes. Oh, now I see why Chief Saley's here. He's asking for a new building or a remodeled building. Whenever I see you, you have all the real big ticket items in the last 10 years, don't you? So,
My tenure has been filled with large projects.
Expensive.
Chief Fisher says if only my vehicles costed as much as Saley. Actually, he's sitting there saying, I'm a bargain compared to the fire chief.
You just have to make more of them.
Yeah,
Big projects.
okay.
Small projects.
Well, anyways, resolution number 2021-36 will be presented by Ms. Warden. It is slated for 3 readings. If you would, Mr. Paulo, please read the title.
Resolution number 2021-36, a resolution authorizing the Director of Administration to enter into a contract with Mull and Weithman for professional engineering services related to improvements to Fire Station Number 1 and allowing for immediate enactment.
Ms. Warden, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Beitendijk. So Fire Station 1, which is located just across the parking lot out here from City Hall, is in need of significant renovations in order to meet the needs of the city's EMS and fire operations. Various aspects of the station's infrastructure are failing, including mechanical, plumbing, and electrical systems. In addition, the current space is proving insufficient and does not minimize some dangerous cross-contamination with carcinogens and pathogens and the living space within the station, which the crew obviously would need to decontaminate themselves from after going to a fire or some sort of event like that. This request will allow the city to enter into agreement with Mull and Weithman Architects, as well as their affiliated partners. And this will be for architectural and engineering services for the planned renovations and addition to Fire Station Number 1. This firm has extensive experience with this particular type of renovation, and Chief Saley has shared that he is confident in their ability to develop a functionally and aesthetically pleasing design, keeping the department's needs and the historical district's standards in mind. Estimated costs for these services are $250,000, and this is a fully budgeted item. The department is simply seeking our approval this evening in order to start this phase of the process. So I move that we pass Resolution 2021-36 tonight.
Will you go suspend the rules?
It says that it's fully budgeted, so
Well,
do I need to suspend the rules if it's a budgeted item?
Do you intend to let the contract within 30 days of this evening?
Excuse, what did you say?
Would you enter into the agreement within 30 days of this evening if would you be intending to?
Yes.
Then
We
we should-
just had a
Well,
meeting today to
this-
discuss the particulars.
This
so
is
that
authorization to enter into the contract, not authorizing to spend funds. So,
Okay, well, I motion to suspend the rules.
Yeah,
That always
and-
throws me, like when we mark on there that,
I know.
it's
but
budgeted,
You know
then
what
it's-
where I look is where it says first reading, second reading, third reading. That's usually my clue as to.
well, everything is an emergency here, so we're gonna place this on third and final.
All right.
We
so-
need you to have
We changed it to immediate now.
yeah.
Yes.
I would second.
All right, so motion by Ms. Warden to suspend the rules, second by Mr. Cavan. Would you please call the roll on the suspension of the rules motion?
Myers,
Yes.
Sanders,
Yes.
Silvestri,
Yes.
Warden,
Yes.
Ansel.
Yes.
Cavan,
Yes.
Bastancik.
Yes.
All right, the rules are suspended. I look to you again there, Ms. Warden.
Once again, I move to pass Resolution 2021-36.
All right, motion to pass Resolution 2021-36, and I saw Mr. Cavan second it. How old is this building?
62.
That's what I thought, because
It was
you
built
might
in
have heard
62.
me,
Yes, same time as this. They built
you might have heard me say,
in the Highland Road Station.
in my senior year, I was fire chief for a day, and I can remember going through the fire station back then and getting to sit behind the wheel of one of your big trucks, although you weren't probably even thought of in 1972.
Well, it probably hasn't changed much since then either.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it hasn't. When we had a tour, I said, boy, this brings back old memories, so. So it's long overdue, but it's testament to how most of our employees treat the facilities and the equipment, that we can get that much use out of it for so long without a major renovation, which, speaks well of the fire department, so. So, and they deserve, since everyone else has a new building or a relatively new building, those that are stationed there probably are entitled to that. And the health issues become more and more paramount when you start reading,
I
too.
wouldn't say entitled, but obviously for their safety and health, it's appropriate to make the modifications to minimize exposures.
Right.
So I think doing our due diligence to keep our employees safe is the appropriate thing to do.
So I'm still waiting to get to sit, after 50 years, behind yet another big piece of equipment.
I told you we'll get that done when we do
Oh,
the
okay.
open house and swearing in.
Oh, I thought you were holding us hostage to pass this first, and then
That's a
we.
good tactic, but I haven't had to go there yet, right?
Okay, all right. Is anything further? Seeing none, would you please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Myers,
Yes.
Sanders,
Yes.
Silvestri,
Yes.
Warden,
Yes.
Ansel.
Yes.
Cavan,
Yes.
and Bastancik.
Yes.
Resolution number 2021-36 passes. That's marvelous. And finally, resolution number 2021-37. It'll be presented by Mr. Bastancik. It's slated for 3 readings. Mr. Paulo, would you read the last piece of legislation of the evening?
Resolution number 2021-37, a resolution appropriating additional funds for concrete street repairs and allowing for immediate enactment.
Mr. Bastancik, the floor is yours. This is slated for 3 readings since we're appropriating new money and not old money.
Okay, thank you. On January 4th, 2021, Worcester City Council passed Resolution 2021-03, which authorized $400,000 for concrete repairs for Buchholz, Greenview, and other concrete streets. This particular resolution, up for vote right now, 2021-37, will increase the original contract price by $100,000 to complete repairs on Wayne Avenue from Bowman Street to Diller Drive. There are 2 reasons why the engineering department is requesting this increase. Number one is that the original bid came in at such a very competitive price that we are unlikely to get a better price if we rebid the contract. And the second reason is that with the construction of the Dix Expressway beginning next year, engineering anticipates increased traffic on this section of Wayne Avenue. Engineering has also talked to the contractor again, and they are willing to do this extra work for the same square yard price of the original contract. I think this sounds like a very good idea, and I applaud engineering for their foresight in this matter. I think it's good. It's good thinking. Thank you. Any questions? Marjorie, do you need to add anything?
No, that's about it. I mean, the key is that the Dix is gonna start next year, and, you know, with the increased traffic we expect, if we can get it fixed now.
What work is being done there right now?
Yeah, they're doing some
They
things.
started, yeah.
Okay.
So we had Bullholz, Greensview, and other streets.
Mhm.
This was chosen as the other street for that reason.
So this is just after the fact?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
As this is not a budgeted item, I would like to request that we take this to third and final.
All right, motion to, in essence, suspend the rules by Mr. Bostancic. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Silvestri. Would you please call the roll on the motion to suspend the rules?
Sanders,
Yes.
Silvestri,
Yes.
Warden,
Yes.
Ansel.
Yes.
Cavan,
Yes.
Bostancic,
Yes.
and Myers.
Yes.
And the rules have been suspended. Mr. Bostancic.
I move to adopt.
Motion to adopt by Mr. Bostancic. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Silvestri. Any other discussion or questions? Seeing none, would you please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Sanders,
Yes.
Silvestri.
Yes.
Warden,
Yes.
Ansel.
Yes.
Cavan,
Yes.
Bostancic,
Yes.
and Myers.
Yes.
Resolution number 2021-37 passes. That brings us to the miscellaneous topics portion, where people will have 2 minutes to speak on subjects they think are appropriate. And the one admonition is that you must be a resident of the city of Worcester to speak during this portion of the council meeting. So when you come and address council, please state your name and full address, and then your 2 minutes will commence.
Sorry, sir, I came in late, I wanted to know.
You're late!
I came from work, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Something else, but,
Well, we'll have you sign it. You will be the last speaker then, but then I'll want to have you sign it so we have a record who's speaking, okay? So I was just kidding. That's okay. We'll accommodate you, and, you know, work comes first. I get it. So Linda Houston?
My name is Linda Houston.
Would you come?
up and sit here in the center and then speak into the microphone.
Now, that way we catch you in, on videotape for posterity.
And if you look up here, there's a clock that'll show you your time.
Trust me, it won't be that long. My name is Linda Houston. I live at 1823 Burbank Road in Worcester, and I've lived there for 52 years in that address. I want to do, one thing is to thank you. This has been a long time in coming, for allowing us to come and speak for something that is not on the agenda. So thank you all. I don't know how it really happened. I know someone who was in it. The other thing I want to mention real quickly is that the mayor did not mention, on Sunday night, there was a rally for Juneteenth, honoring the new Friday signing for it to be a holiday. And I want to thank Scott Myers, because he was there, he attended, and he actually spoke to tell us that this was the last meeting before, so we didn't all come 2 weeks from now. But we will be back. I trust that we will be back on September 7th. Again, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Linda Smith?
I don't have anything to say today, I'm just observing. Thank you.
All right. Tyrone Harwell?
Everyone, if you could come up to the center and please speak in the microphone. Thank you.
And you're welcome to sit down, you don't have to stand.
My name is Tyrone Octavius Harwell Jr. My address is 2452 Barrington Way, number 434.
And that's Worcester, Ohio.
Correct.
Okay.
I have a question for all of you members and the chief as well. It's actually more of a challenge. I want to ask every single one of you, what is your plan, if you have one, for the many minorities that in this particular county that face systemic racism every single day?
Stephanie Rowland? Okay. Dr. Desiree Weber? See, I put a plug in for you.
I want to also use my time to thank you for allowing the public to speak to you. The last year has given us all, I think, a lot of reasons to reflect. It's been a tough year. It's been a year to reconsider priorities in all kinds of small and large ways. It's been a year to refocus on our community and the needs of that community, and there have been a lot of needs in the last year. The city and a lot of people in it have been through a really challenging year, and most certainly front of my mind is the pandemic and the economic challenges that have affected people in this community and the city as a whole. But a lot of people in this community have also been through a lot, given the reckoning with really old and deep-seated questions of inequality and race in this country. And it might be easy to think that these issues don't affect Worcester, or that we don't see them, or that we haven't, luckily, had any headline-grabbing incidents in Worcester that might fall into that category, but these issues still affect our community, and they affect lots of different people in our community, and they affect them in different ways. And maybe they don't affect us in our everyday lives, or we don't see it, but that doesn't mean that that's not something that happens in our community. And so my ask is for city council members and the mayor as well, since you're here, to please engage with the community on these questions. They are issues that, again, we might not feel all in the same way every day, but they are issues that really matter in this community. And so I just ask that as we have reached out to you all in various times and in various ways, that you also reach that hand back and engage with the community on these questions. Thanks.
Michelle Leby?
Can I ask a question of clarification before my time starts? Is there a reason I need to provide my full address, and is this going to be on YouTube?
I can answer that unless President Biden.
Go ahead, Law Director.
So we are taking comments only from residents of the city of Worcester, because that is who we serve. And I believe that the video will be put on YouTube after the meeting is complete.
Is it appropriate if I mention that I've been a voter in Jen's district for 10, 11 years now? And I'd really rather not my address be public on YouTube.
Did you put your, well, I'll stop you real quick. Did you put your address on the?
I did, yes.
We have a record.
Okay, great.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you. My name's Michelle Leiby. I wanted to reiterate and just echo what some of the previous comments have been to the mayor and city council, and this sort of really genuine urging for members of council and the mayor to engage with the community on issues that they care about. And so I also want to take just a brief moment to thank you for having this opportunity. It's been a really serious frustration of those of us who pay attention, those of us who vote, and those of us who don't feel like our interests are being reflected in the conversations that often happen at City Council. My specific question that I'd like to ask City Council to comment on has to also do with economic inequality in Worcester, in the city, and housing accessibility, or I should say safe and healthy housing accessibility. And I'm thinking about this again because of the new development that's being announced for the space on Liberty that'll include some lofts in the second story. So I'm curious if the mayor or any member of City Council can speak to or answer what is the median cost for safe and healthy housing for a resident in Worcester, both housing and both a house in terms of home ownership, but also renters. What is the average cost for the developments, the new developments that have been built within the last 5 to 7 years? And what, if any, plans does City Council have for the next session to improve accessibility to safe and healthy housing for the residents of City of Worcester?
Okay. And I don't know your name, so if you would state your name, and when you're done, sign here so we have a record here, please.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you giving me the chance to speak. My name is Hannah Rykowski. I live at 2230 Eddy Way here in Worcester. I've lived there for all 22 years of my life. I'm a new college graduate, and I just started my position today at the College of Wooster. I also work as a gymnastics coach and various other jobs. My question is one of sort of personal growth. I'd like to extend a little bit of my time to give each of you the opportunity, if you would like, you may pass if you don't feel comfortable answering, but for each of you to answer this question if you want to and feel comfortable. I was just wondering, I know that there will be a recess until the fall. I wondered, I'm working in the office of the Center for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at the college. I just wanted to know what, if anything, do each of you plan to do over this sort of recess, this time between now and the fall, to sort of learn and educate yourselves or grow as individuals about any topic related to diversity, equity, inclusion, in general, whether it's reading about a certain topic that you want to educate yourself on, or looking into something that individuals have raised here. I don't know if you would each feel comfortable going down the line and sharing. Again, you can pass or you don't have to answer, but I would just love to hear that as someone who's passionate about being a lifelong learner.
We really appreciate you being here. One of the things we're going to be doing in this time is to make sure that we're not spending a lot of time in replying. We appreciate the question, we really do. If you wouldn't mind, are you cutting me off now, John? Our email address.
That was not me.
Okay, I know who it was. Hey, all of our email addresses are on the city website, and if you would send that just brief question, I know what it is, but a reminder, then we could each reply to you directly. And I would be happy to do so if you send me the question.
Wonderful.
So just send us an email and we'll be able to get back to you.
Okay.
Those are the ones, but I will get back to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you would,
I appreciate your time.
please sign that so we have a record. Thank you. Okay, we'll start out with Mr. Silvestri.
Nothing to add this evening, Mr. President, but thank you.
All right, Ms. Warden?
I'd like to thank everyone that came out to speak this evening for the first open session, at least in a very long time. And for those of you who perhaps were expecting some sort of comment from council or questions, that's basically I think the way that we're going to carry this on is that we'll hear what you have to say, and then, I like Mr. Meyer's suggestion of a follow-up email. That way we can take the time to either do some research if there's specific facts or numbers involved, or to prepare a thoughtful response to what you've said. Sometimes I fumble my words even when I have them written down on a script, so I could sound really terrible if I speak off the cuff. And I think you all might understand that, especially when we're in this position. We'd like to give you a thoughtful response to your important questions. So thank you very much for coming out tonight.
Mr. Ansel,
Nothing this evening, Mr. President, thank you.
Mr. Cavan,
Nothing to add. Thank you.
Mr. Bostancic,
Again, I'd like to go on what Jen said. We do appreciate everybody coming out and, stating their concerns. And I would like to say, too, I know last speaker is asking what we're going to do for personal growth and stuff, but I know a lot of us up here have talked to a lot of the coalition members over the last several months, and a number of us have also participated in what Mr. Beitendijk started a few months ago, the WeChat sessions, where Worcester citizens can come before a member of council and administration and talk for 15 minutes and have a discussion with the administration and city council members at length. And so I know a number of us, including myself, have participated in those as well. So I think there are a fair number of us who are becoming somewhat educated on these issues. That way, I'm not saying I won't call us all experts, but I think it's beginning. Thank you.
Mr. Myers.
Thank you, President Beitendijk. Mayor Brenneman, I appreciate your comments earlier this evening and all the topics you covered. I did participate in the Wayne Trails event. I bicycled the scavenger hunt. I didn't get to you. It said, find the mayor. I got to a lot of different sites. I got to see the cow. I got to see the police dog at the station. I didn't get to, because when I got to Layton School, or what we used to be called Layton School, the wind was like 30, 40 miles an hour. It's starting to rain. I'm like, okay, I've had enough. I think we'd have had more people. I know 2 people that were going to ride with me bailed at the last minute because of the weather. So I think it was a great event. I'm going to encourage our committee to do it again next year and maybe expand on it. I think everybody that did participate, I saw a lot of walkers as well, had a really good time, even though the weather was questionable at certain times. But thank you very much, and look forward to doing this event again next year. So thank you.
And I didn't forget you, Mr. Sanders.
Oh, I didn't figure you did.
I could, but I didn't.
No, I also want to just thank everyone that came this evening and spoke with their questions and concerns. These are topics that I know personally I've spent a lot of time considering, discussing, and I have no answers other than the fact that appreciate everyone coming out and look forward to hearing what you have to say again. Thank you.
And I see Mr. Ansel.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. President.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Myers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.